internet! Today I'm here to do a tag that I have been seeing kind of floating around on YouTube in my subscriptions lately, and that is the Pride Flag book tag in honor of Pride Month. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I kinda, I guess, came out as bisexual here on YouTube, which is kind of a big deal for me personally. I'm not ready to really delve into a lot of kind of my feelings about my sexuality and all of that stuff yet, but I am very relieved to just have it known here on BookTube. It's important to me when I talk about books with queer characters to be able to tell you why they mean so much to me. And I've never been able to do that before, and every time I talk about one of those books during my wrap-ups, it's always bothered me that I wasn't out, and so I decided that as far as my social media life is concerned, this is where I wanted to start with that kind of coming out journey, and just thank you guys for being supportive. But anyway, enough of that. I want to get into the Pride Flag book tag. This tag was created by Common Spence, and I will link his channel down in the description, but I really loved the meaning behind this tag. So what this tag does is it takes each of the colors from the Pride flag, or the rainbow flag, and delves into what each color means, and then has a prompt to go along with the meaning of the color. And I love this idea. So in honor of kind of, I guess, the end of Pride Month, I wanted to go ahead and do this tag, so let's jump right on into it. So the first color is red, which stands for life. For this, you need to pick a book with a spirited protagonist, totally proud of who they are, someone who gives you life. For this one, the character that immediately came to mind was Tiny Cooper from Will Grayson, Will Grayson. This is by John Green and David Levithan. Tiny Cooper is a side character. He's not one of the main characters, but he is just so like out and proud and like doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks about him. And it's been several years since I've read this book. I think it's due for a reread, but I remember I think was probably my favorite character in this whole book. He actually does have his own little book too. In this book, Will Grayson, Tiny Cooper is writing his own musical about his life, and that has actually been published. I don't own it, but it's called Hold Me Closer. I'll put a picture of it up here. I have read it. I loved it. I just don't own it, but he definitely was the first one that immediately came to mind for this question. Orange stands for healing, and for this you are to pick a book that made you, as a reader, find deeper meaning or catharsis in your own life. I kind of have two for this one. The first one I wanted to mention is Our Own Private Universe by Robin Talley. Now, this book has some problematic aspects to it, but the reason I wanted to mention it is just because of the time that I read this book. I read this when I was still kind of questioning my own sexuality, and I kind of thought that I might be bi, but I wasn't really totally sure. And this was the first book I ever read with a bisexual main character, and just so many of the thoughts that the main character had really resonated with me at that time. And even though this is kind of a problematic book in other aspects that are separate from the bisexual rep, the fact that I had that reaction when reading it and the time of my life that I read it does make it mean quite a bit to me. And I also wanted to mention How to Make a Wish by Ashley Herring Blake. This is another YA contemporary. It is probably my favorite book with a bisexual character, its own voices, and this book means so much to me. I love this book with my whole heart. It just really meant a lot to me when I read it. Yellow stands for sunshine, and for this you are to pick a book that fills you with so much joy that it can brighten even your darkest days. I feel like a lot of people are picking this book for this question, but like, I can't think of a better book for this question. Like, this is the book for me, and that's Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. And this book just makes me so happy when I read it, and I can't help it. Like, this book, it's the happy gay book that so many people resonate with. It's the book that was the inspiration for the movie Love, Simon, which also just makes me super happy. But yeah, I know a lot of people have picked this book for this question, but I couldn't think of a better book that fits this one. This one just takes the cake for making me happy as far as queer books go. Green stands for nature, and for this you're to pick a book that is set out of this world, a reality different from our own. And for this one, I really wanted to mention the Wayward Children series by Sean McGuire. The first one is Every Heart a Doorway, the second one is Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and the third one is Beneath the Sugar Sky. And these are kind of shorter, like, novellas, but they are about children who go to different portal worlds, so like Neverland, Narnia, Oz, those kinds of places, and they have come back to our world and are having trouble dealing with reality. So they are sent to Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children, and it's just like a school for kids who have gone through this kind of thing. And they're just really, really good books. There is so much different kinds of representation in here. There's LGBTQ plus representation, there's different cultures, people of color. It's really great, and I think it's done really well. This is a very beloved series here on BookTube. I think Down Among the Sticks and Bones is my favorite, which is the second one, but it's kind of hard to pick because I also really love the first one. But this series is great. If you haven't read it yet, definitely check it out. The next color is blue, which stands for peace, and you're to pick a book with a character that finds peace within a difficult truth. I absolutely could not think of a better book to pick for this than Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake. I just recently finished this, and it's very heartbreaking, but it's very, very good. It's about a girl whose brother was accused of raping his girlfriend. So it's about Mara trying to deal with that and how it affects her and her relationship with her brother, and also her friend who was his girlfriend, and so how everybody is dealing with that. I can't really say how the main character Mara comes to find peace, or as much peace as she can get with this kind of difficult situation, but this book is phenomenal and it deserves way more attention than it's getting, and I absolutely love this book. Also, the main character is bisexual, and she has a relationship with a genderqueer character, which I thought was very, very cool. And the last color is purple, which stands for spirit, and for this you are to pick a book that deals with LGBTQ plus themes and religion. For this, I'm actually going to go with a book that I have not read yet that I plan on reading soon, just because I've heard that it does this very, very well. I've actually seen people pick this in their own pride flag tags, and that book is Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens. I adore Courtney Stevens. I love the other book by her that I read, which is Faking Normal, but this book was pitched as Footloose with sexual fluidity, and I believe it is about a girl who is questioning her sexuality, but she is also a Christian. And I've heard that this book is phenomenal. I've heard that it deals with all these things really, really well. Like I said, I plan on reading this very, very soon. I've been wanting to read it basically since it came out, but I've definitely been pulled to this book recently, and I thought this would be a great pick for this question. So that is it for the Pride Flag book tag. If you want to do this tag, I'm going to leave the questions down in the description, as well as the original video, so you can check that out. And that will be it for this video, and I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye.